What's up, guys? I want to talk to you about something. I want to ask, what is your why? Your why in life? Do you have a why? Why do you wake up? Why do you go to sleep early? Just your why. And my why is I have this sickening desire and disgust that my time will be taken away from me. I am not at war with another human being. I'm not at war with some big entities out there. I am at war with one thing and one thing only, and that's time. Not just time, but disappearance. My entire channel is based off, and my entire identity is based off the idea of defying time, disobeying time, disturbing time. And the idea of that, of the potential of somebody dictating that time, bothers me to every single cell in my body. It disturbs me, it disgusts me. I hate the idea of having a job. Now, I do technically have a job, but it's not even a job. I am working on a family business. We make anything out of brass, bronze, and aluminum. I work with my uncle and my cousin. And not once have I felt like I was an employee to them. And the reason why I say that is because I know and I've heard of the way my uncle talks to me from other people, technically behind my back, but in a very positive way. Even in front of me, he will say we got very close throughout the years. And not once have I felt like an employee. And I handle a lot over there, from paperwork to taking care of our customers, our accounts. I even do some of the bondoing over there, just to perfect the products. I help with the casting. I could post the video here in the corner, maybe like somewhere here. But yeah, the idea of my time is very important to me. And knowing, I also have an eBay account, thankfully successful enough where it's kept my head above waters during harder times. And I run that with my dad. And but before that, we had four failed eBay accounts. One of them got blacklisted. The other one just didn't take off. We actually have a second one right now that's going very slow, but it still does a decent amount that one account could buy groceries for me every week. Let's put it that way. So the other one is much more successful. The original one, it's been, I think, now a decade just passed. So that one's been a lot of our bread and butter. It's done a lot, especially for during the hard times, like COVID times and stuff. Even though it was very good during COVID, but there was a time where the foundry closed for a few months, and I wasn't making money from the customers I would bring in, and until we opened it back up, and then COVID time, it was good too. But I can't stand the idea of my blood, sweat, and tears going into a faceless corporation that will replace me in a matter of a couple hours. Now, don't get me wrong, it could happen here at the foundry too, because somebody needs to pick up the slack. I get it. I'm not blind to that or deaf to that, let's put it that way. But knowing that I am part of a family business that's been a part of my family since I think my grandpa's dad or my grandpa's grandpa has been doing it, I don't know how many years back it was, but it's at least 100 years now, and if not more. And because I never got to meet my grandpa, and my uncle is the eldest brother of my dad's side of the family. Because he has grandkids, he became a grandpa to me that I never got to have. So, and I've the amount of stories he's told me, the amount of time me and him just talked, the amount of times that like he's yelled at me even just for doing a mistake, or I've yelled because, or like I not yelled, but like I got angry with a customer. I'm like, you deal with that. I don't want to talk about it. I like dealing with this customer or something just was out of like it was just crazy sometimes. Especially because we deal with a lot of grieving families. They become very non-cooperative, and it makes our job 100 times harder. And it's sometimes it's good because I am emotionally overwhelmed sometimes talking to 10 grieving families, and I'm like, this one person is just really grinding my gears in every single way. At least there's a fresh perspective and a fresh mind to go into that conversation with that customer. And I love what I do. I absolutely adore what I do. I think we do great things for families. It just sometimes some families I try to be understanding. There's a level I get to where it just, you know what, I don't want to say the wrong thing. There is the business reputation at the end of the day that deserves much more, and because that is a family business, I just know when to take myself out of a situation. I've been doing this long enough where I just know. Um, and another thing is that eBay account is something I did for my family, my dad and me. It's helped my sister a lot. It's helped my mom a lot. So I have my day job with the foundry. Even though that day job is 24 hours, I'm on call basically. If anyone calls me, it goes directly to my phone. I take care of the customers, and and after hours, I take care of the eBay account with my dad. That takes about sometimes 3 hours, give or take. Sometimes we just sit there and talk. Like I help him with other things too. Like I get to see my dad daily because of that. Um, and I still try coming home, doing my writing. I still love doing my writing, and I do my researches. I do all these things. So like and I go to the gym. I try doing about 2 hours a day, at least five. Yeah, I try pushing 6 days a week. I love the gym. I've always been a very big sports enthusiast. I've always been very big on taking care of my body, even though I did let myself go. Like, and I'm very ashamed of that. I am truly ashamed of what I've done to my body in the past. And I was a smoker at a point. It blows my mind seeing old pictures of myself and knowing that I never once saw that in the mirror. I've always saw myself as capable. I've got to the point where my punches got so strong that I named my punches. Um, and knowing that, going from that and then living that body that I had a few years back, thankfully now I'm back to being much more healthy and much more health conscious about everything. But it blows my mind how I never saw that in the mirror. Every time I saw in the mirror, I saw what I look like now, even though I was still overweight during that time. I saw, even well, I'm still overweight now. I mean, um, that I saw this and not that, and it freaking blows my mind. It's that weight blindness shit is damn real. And you need to know what your why is in life. And it's funny because the reason why I went back to starting to lose weight was because I want to fit into sweats again. The most shallow freaking thing ever I've ever thought about in my life. It's just that I want to wear sweats again. And it led to one thing, it led to one thing, and now I'm here again. And the whys change. The reason to keep going changes, and you need to keep adapting and developing your why as your life goes on. There's some things that are very permanent in your life that, for example, like I said, my life, the identity I have is to become timeless, that I want to outlive time. One of my mom saved one of my quotes that I wrote was that I want, you know what, I even forgot how I even said it because it was just one of those things where I said I want to carve my name into I want to carve my name into time so time could choke on my name for all of eternity. And it's not in those exact words, and this is why like writing is helps me a lot, is because I could jot it down and like arrange it, and this is why speaking is kind of more difficult for me, is because thoughts just keep coming, and I keep, and if I always had a paper in front of me, I'd be writing all these down and then cleaning it up and then editing it and then cleaning it up and then editing it. So talking is a lot more mumbo jumbo to me, and I hope you can see that I'm getting a little more comfortable speaking on camera. But the why changes throughout the time. I started writing during COVID time more, and I've always liked writing, and I started watching Californication during that time, and that's why I call myself the Rockin' Poet, is or the Rockin' Poet, the writer, or whatever, is because I relate to Hank Moody a lot. The way he talks and acts and stuff, I've always saw myself like that, and especially growing up like Fresh Prince of Bel Air, I always wanted to be like Will Smith in Fresh Prince of Bel Air. He had that charisma too, like that was one big thing. But I was much more calmer. I was much more, I believe, smooth in the way I talked. I was not ever as active. I'm not sure what the right way to say, but if you see Fresh Prince of Bel Air, you know what I mean. Goofy in a very intellectual way, because he was very great at the way he did it. Um, but Hank Moody was more smooth, and he was a writer, and like I related to that a lot more. And especially the love story he had, I have a very similar situation too. Um, but you need to find out what your why is. And like I said, mine is just a very disgusting hatred for my time to belong to somebody else. And if it is gonna belong to anything else, I made sure it was towards my blood. There is this one little quick saying of is that the word fat, because I'm very big on words, hence writing. In etymology, there's, I forgot where I read this, but apparently family means to be a slave. And you know, I will be very okay being a slave to my family, and I technically am, real seriously I am. But I do it out of love. I do it out of care. I do it so they don't have to worry. I do it because it's my responsibility. And I rather have all my time for that, for them, for to better our life, than me go make somebody else rich, to make somebody else's family much more happier because I gave them my time, my energy, my strength, my power, my intellect, my wisdom. I developed something for their business. So I just want to ask you one more time, is what is your why? Find out what your why is. Write it down, make it clear, and go towards it. Live it, embody it. It's your philosophy. And you will see how your life will change completely, and how things will disappear and how things will come together. But yeah, please subscribe, like, comment. I want to read it. I want to see what you guys got to say. See you next time. Be timeless.